Man, this is getting interesting. There is clearly a fracture of some kind in the players' union. The WNBA and the WNBPA, the players' union, will meet Monday morning in New York. Last I checked, this is Monday. It is Monday. So I don't know if they're still in the meeting or not.
That meeting took place this morning in New York. What has now emerged from sources close to the negotiations reveals something no one expected. This is no longer just players versus owners. The WNBA Players Association is now fighting on two fronts, and one of those fronts is internal.
Said a strong debate has emerged within the 7-member executive committee, which the NBPA body authorized in December to call a strike when necessary. According to multiple reports, one group says that now is the time to fundamentally alter the league's revenue sharing model, and players shouldn't compromise further.
A serious debate has erupted inside the 7-member executive committee, the group authorized in December to call a strike if necessary. According to multiple reports, the committee is split straight down the middle. One faction believes this is the moment to fundamentally reshape the league's revenue-sharing model. Their message is clear: do not compromise, do not retreat. The other faction is looking at the current proposal and saying, we've already made major progress. We're close to a deal. A strike may not be the answer.
WNBA PA President Nike Agumake, First Vice President Kelsey Plum, Vice President Nafisia Collier are set to join in person. Vice President Breonna Stewart said she'll participate over video conference, an option for owners and other executive council members who cannot attend the gathering in New York. Quote, at the end of the day, we're human beings. I think conversation face-to-face.
Here is what the league has offered. First-year salaries would jump to $1 million. From there, they would rise steadily, reaching as much as $1.9 million by the end of the next collective bargaining agreement. Compare that to the current maximum salary of roughly $200,000, and the increase is staggering. It represents nearly 8 times more pay for top players. Role players and bench players would also receive massive raises. Everyone on the roster would benefit. And yet, a significant portion of the union continues to reject the offer.
He goes on to talk about what Caitlin Clark said last night. Right? I honestly don't think it's just a big moment for the WNBA. It's for all women's sports. I think it's one of the biggest moments we've ever had. I'm very confident we're going to get something done because we're in the moment, because of the product we put on the floor, so we need to be able to continue that. You can tell, once again.
The union submitted its formal proposals around Christmas. The league has not yet officially responded, which has frustrated union leadership. But that frustration is minor compared to the tension inside the executive committee itself. When you have President Nneka Agwamike, First Vice President Kelsey Plum, Vice President Nafisia Collier, and Breonna Stewart joining by video, you are looking at the most powerful voices in the union trying to determine whether they even agree with one another.
It's important to get on the court, play basketball, build on the moment, keep the momentum going. But first, sounds like the players got to take care of their own house. I had a feeling this was going to happen. I told you guys for 2 months now that you were going to have a section of players that was going to be like, we're getting...
Before the meeting, Kelsey Plum said she was excited to be in the room in person with fellow players who are deeply invested in the process, along with league representatives who committed to attending. Breonna Stewart has repeatedly pushed for face-to-face negotiations. She told ESPN last month that at some point, enough is enough. She wants real conversations about real issues. She believes virtual meetings get lost in language, wording, and technicalities, missing the bigger picture. But beneath all of this lies a deeper issue that few are openly discussing.
Especially your back end of the roster players, even your players from what? Number 5 in the rotation, all the way down. All right, maybe even higher than that. Maybe even some of your just flat out stars are like they're offering us, like 8 times.
The faction demanding 50% revenue sharing, similar to the NBA model, is operating under a fundamental misunderstanding of financial reality. The WNBA has lost money in 22 of its 27 seasons. It remains subsidized by the NBA. Television deals are improving, but they are nowhere near NBA levels. Sponsorship revenue is growing, but the overall revenue pool is still limited. Asking for half of league revenue when the league is not consistently profitable is not a negotiation strategy. It is a fantasy.
To be interesting. I would assume there will be an update for me to put out either tonight or first thing in the morning. There's been something else. There's been leaks about this process that's come out overnight since this has started. I don't know why that is.
This is where the divide becomes critical. Players who understand business, who have reviewed financial statements, consulted agents, and spoken with sports economists, see the offer for what it is: a massive investment in a league's future. Ownership is betting that higher salaries will retain stars, that keeping players like Caitlin Clark, Paige Buchers, and future talent in the WNBA instead of losing them overseas will grow the business enough to justify these numbers. The opposing faction sees something different. They see record attendance in 2024. They see Clark drawing millions of viewers. They see sold-out arenas, national media attention, and corporate sponsors lining up. To them, it looks like the league is hiding money and rushing players into a deal before a major revenue explosion occurs.
Tell me what you think. Players Union got themselves a good old-fashioned split. That's fine. Let those players cross over. Sign their contract. Sign a new CBA. The players that want to be left behind, stay in Unrivaled. Stay with Project B. You're not under...
Both groups want to hear directly from owners, without layers of lawyers and intermediaries in between. That signals a deeper problem. The players no longer trust the process. They do not trust negotiators to accurately reflect ownership's intentions. They want direct answers. They want eye contact. They want accountability. When negotiations reach this stage, when face-to-face intervention becomes necessary, the situation has entered dangerous territory.
This is getting more and more interesting, and it sounds like this is headed to chaos. Like you may have gridlock on the inside of the very same union that can't get along, can't come to an agreement themselves.
Consider what happened just days before this meeting. Natasha Cloud went on social media and openly attacked ownership over the CBA, turning the issue emotional and confrontational. Shortly afterward, Caitlin Clark appeared on NBC and took the opposite approach. She framed negotiations as business. She expressed confidence that a deal would be reached. She emphasized the importance of continuing the momentum created by the on-court product. 2 players, 1 union, completely different messages. That was not accidental. It was a preview of the internal fracture. This moment matters far beyond contract terms. The WNBA is experiencing its first true era of mainstream relevance in years. Clark's rookie season brought unprecedented attention. Attendance records fell. Merchandise sales exploded. The Indiana Fever went from half-empty arenas to sold-out crowds and thousands of fans being turned away. This is the moment the league has waited for since 1997. If a strike happens, that momentum dies. Casual fans who discovered the WNBA through Caitlin Clark do not care about revenue-sharing percentages. They do not follow labor disputes. They just want to watch basketball. If the season is delayed or canceled, they will move on. They are not invested enough to wait. Hardcore fans will stay. But growth comes from converting casual viewers into loyal supporters. You cannot do that by not playing. This is what the pro-deal faction understands. Yes, more money might be possible. Yes, additional concessions could be extracted. But at what cost? Killing momentum, alienating new fans, and creating a perception of greed would cause long-term damage for short-term gains. The 50% faction sees it differently. They believe the league has more money than it admits. They believe owners are exploiting this moment. They believe leverage must be used now, or it will be lost forever. They are willing to risk momentum to establish precedent. Both sides have valid arguments. That is what makes this so difficult. But public perception is turning. Fans see an offer starting at $1 million and rising to $1.9 million being rejected. Sympathy is fading. Social media reactions are harsh. Sign the deal. You're not worth NBA money. Stop being greedy. Play basketball. The goodwill built over the past year is disappearing in real time. Then there is the unrivaled factor. Players are earning additional income in off-season leagues, overseas play, endorsements, and appearances. That is good for individuals, but it weakens the argument that WNBA salaries are unlivable. When players are earning hundreds of thousands from multiple sources, the optics matter, and right now, the optics are terrible. This morning's meeting was supposed to be decisive. Whether it truly changes anything depends on whether the two factions can find common ground. If they cannot, the union has a serious problem. You cannot negotiate effectively with management when you cannot agree internally. Nneka Ogwumike, Kelsey Plum, Nafisa Collier, and Breanna Stewart are intelligent, accomplished leaders. They understand business. But they are under immense pressure from competing voices. Some players want confrontation. Some want compromise. Some trust the process. Others feel manipulated. Balancing those demands while negotiating with owners who have real financial limits is nearly impossible. So, what happens next? Either the league responds with a counteroffer that bridges the gap, or this drags into spring and threatens the season. Either the executive committee unites or public fractures grow. Either cooler heads prevail, or the WNBA faces its first strike in history. Caitlin Clark says she is confident a deal will be reached. She may be right, but if this collapses, if the season is delayed and momentum is lost, it could take years to rebuild. The WNBA has never had an opportunity like this. It may never have another. The real question is whether the players' union recognizes that before it is too late.